check this out. I found this on eBay. It is an eBox 2300 JSK. I think it was originally some kind of thin client or little desktop PC thing. I paid $8 or $9 for it. I don't remember what I paid for it. $8 or $9. So that's that. I've got some screws for maybe a VESA mount. This looks like it VESA mounts on the back of a monitor. So these screws are probably for that. And there's some little rubber pads in there. And I got this funky power supply. It's actually 5 volts. It has this weird, let's see if I can focus on that. It has this weird pin, but it's actually just a 5 volt. It's 5 volts ground, and then I guess it's an orientation pin in there. So that came with it. And then we got this thing. Now this is made by DMP Electronics. They called it the Green PC or something like that. It's probably early 2000s this thing was made. It has a Vortex x86 SoC 200 megahertz. Okay, so you know Raspberry Pis are more powerful than this. I mean, this is more like on the lines of an ESP32 or something like that. I mean, it's a pretty old setup, but anyway, that's what it is. It's got 128 megs of RAM. And it's got a 256 meg DOM disk-on module card, and it also has a CF card. Okay, so we got a Cisco 512 meg CF card, so that would be like an extra drive. Okay, let's see what else we got. These are USB 1 or 1.1 ports. Okay, so we've got mic and headphone there. Power and disc light. It's got 2 COM ports, RS-232s, little switch here, power, PS2 port, video, and then this Ethernet port is supposed to be 10100. That's what they said it was. And then here's another USB 1.1. All right, so this is a pretty cool little thing. So I'm going to repurpose it. What I finally decided I would do with it would be make a music player. So just for background music. So I got these little Frisbee FS334U speakers. These are red ones. The red ones, yeah. So I'm going to hook this up. So I'm going to try to install Alpine Linux, and then I'm going to use CMUS or CMUS or however you say that, CMUS, which is a great little command line music player. It's command line or in curses style interface. It's great for playing music, but it'll also play radio, internet radio, and that's what I like to do. Okay, so just for background noise while I'm working. So that's what we're going to do here, is make this. All right, so this is the intro, and now we're going to get into the deconstruction, and then we'll run the BIOS and see what the BIOS says, and then we'll try to put Alpine Linux on it. All right, so that's the project. Let's get busy. All right, let's tear this thing apart. You know, just to see what it's all about. So it's really pretty amazing. Electronics were a lot bigger, so the fact that they, you know, 10, 15 years ago, so the fact that they put this thing in this tiny little case is pretty amazing. It's probably going to be pretty jammed up. There. And well, this is a fanless design, so there's a few vents here, but the CPU must be connected to here somehow. Oh yeah, let's look in there. Let's see if we can barely see in there. I can see the heat sink in there. It's stuck. It's stuck to the top. probably has a heat sink pad, you know, heat transfer pad. Let's see if we can. Should come loose if I prise on it a little bit. Aha. Ooh, it's all coming loose. Alright. So that's just, this is our CPU heatsink and top. And that's a little sticky pad that transfers the heat. This feels like aluminum. Probably is to transfer the heat. Okay. This should come off. There it is. That's aluminum too. That's a plastic button. There. Very high tech, very high tech. Let's see what we got. Alright, here's the CPU under there. The mighty Vortex. It probably was a pretty decent processor when it was made, but not anymore. Alright, that's a battery. Lithium cell. That's probably a dead battery. As old as it is, but it might still be okay. That looks like our memory under there. It's like memory ICs. Here's our BIOS right there. What else? That's our CF card slot. Oh, we got a PC speaker on there. Got some internet connections. Alright, let's see what else we can. It looks like this has to come off. Got some standoffs. It's hooked on standoffs. And there's cables back in here. Alright, there's our power cable. I don't want to take those cables off. Let's see if it'll bend. Alright, so this is our on-off switch back there, and these are the COM cables, the RS-232 cables. Alright, let's see what we got. Here is our DOM module plugged in right there. That's a 44 pin plug in. Let's see if that'll focus. Oh yeah, so it does have the 256 DOM like it said. That's actually the manufacturer of the PC. They've got their own sticker on there. And here's some more memory. It totals, what I say, it was 128, I think is what the total was. And that is, it looks like a memory, like PC memory, but it's not. I think that's a PC, it's some kind of PCIe, PCIe Mini, some kind of thing, like maybe for a Wi-Fi, because I did see that hole right there, which would be where you could run a Wi-Fi antenna out if you did the Wi-Fi option. So that's probably what that is, Wi-Fi. Alright, that's the breakdown of this little beast. That's a pretty dense, motherboard there. Double-sided motherboard. You know, you don't see that on a regular motherboard. So they're running two sides of components jammed, packed on there. Alright, that's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get it back together. Exact opposite of what we did. So put the use pliers on a nut. get the right tool. I didn't make it through aircraft mechanics school for nothing. I know how to use the right tool when I want to. All right, the finishing touch. Let's put this non-sticky thing back on there. All right, this is the eBox. Oh, wait a minute, we forgot this. Ta-da! All right, this is the eBox 2300 with the Vortex X86 200 megahertz. That all sounds good. It did 15 years ago. Okay, we got this thing plugged up. This is plugged into power and plugged in here. Monitor, internet, we'll need that when we install, and the keyboard. And this is on. Get these up out of the way. And when we push this button, lights come on. And in that. All right, now we're going to fire up and see if we can get to the BIOS. So I'm hitting the on key, and I think I'll just hit delete. Maybe that'll get us into the BIOS. Oh, there it is. And what a horrible pink color this is. All right, let's see what we got. Got nothing showing up there. I don't see the discs. Oh, here we go. Auto detect hard disks. There we go. Okay, so that is going to be the DOM, and that's the CF card. I actually think I'll take the CF card out when we install the Alpine Linux, but for now, at least we see it's detecting it. Let's see, I want to do this. All right, so this I'm going to change. I put a USB drive in the front that has Alpine Linux on it, so I'm going to set that as the first boot device. The second boot device, we'll do IDE 0, I guess. I don't know what IDE 0 is at the moment, but we'll do that. Display function enabled. Sure. Okay, I like all that. Let's see what's in here. Beep function. Oh, we definitely want some beep function. Watchdog timer, we don't need that. I think all that's okay. Power management. I always want to save, yep, this one. I set it to last state, so wherever it is, if the power goes off and comes back on, it goes back to that. And that's all good. No, we don't want that. I think that's all good. Okay, so we're through the BIOS. Let's save and exit, and then we'll go to the Alpine setup. Why, yes, I do. All right, now I have the latest version of Alpine Linux, and I have put it onto a thumb drive. I've inserted, oh, did you hear the beep? We turned the speaker on. I've inserted it in, and we're going to see if it will boot. Now this may take a while because it's on the USB drive, and that's a 1.1 USB, so it's going to take a little bit of time to read this. Something's happening. Doesn't know the, oh, it doesn't know who the CPU is. No support for the CPU. Ooh, that's not good. Let's see. Well, it looks like it's still running. Yep, I think it's still running. Still doing something. Oh, there goes something. Okay. So I think we're good. This is actually going to run. Yep, here we go. To the initial. Okay. Now when you start, you log on as root and there's no password. So we're in. And then the first thing that you always do is setup -alpine. And this will take me through the setup routine. Now this can take a while, so I will speed this up. Alright, that didn't work. The DOM that was in there, the 256, was just too small to easily install Alpine Linux. So the only other DOM I had was a 2 meg DOM. So I got the 2 meg DOM, I'm sorry, the 2 gig. So I got a 2 gig DOM in there, and I am now going to install Alpine Linux. Alright, that didn't work either. I got Alpine installed on here, no problem, but the sound card and the sound card drivers all became a problem. It's got a very old sound card, or built-in motherboard sound card. So now I am going to try to install TinyCore and see if it will pick up the sound card. So here we go. All right. TinyCore would not boot off this new SanDisk, and I read online that sometimes these 1.1 drives, they don't like to boot off newer things. Why it booted with Alpine, I don't know, but it won't boot with TinyCore. So I went ahead and swapped out. This is the 2 gig. I took it out. So those are done. This is our CF card. All right, now I have an old 256 megabyte thumb drive, which I know is 1.1 compatible. I've had this thing for I don't know how many years, 15 years, something like that. All right, so I'm going to do this thing now. Pretty sure it's going to work. So here we go. This is TinyCore Linux, back with the 256 DOM and with this old USB drive. Also, it's got to be VFAT, not an EXT format on it. All right, here we go. All right, here's the crazy thing. Look, you would expect it to work like this, right? No, but all the USB ports are upside down. So when I took this and stuck it in here, it went in, but guess what? It's not reading anything. All right, so now upside down, and we are booting. This is TinyCore Linux, all the small stuff. Okay, this would not read in that thing, so I've got to put it into this holder like that. Turn it upside down and put it in there. And now we are booting, and I'm going to, there we go. And yep, it's booting. So there we go. We're installing TinyCore now, and we'll see how this does us. Okay, after much struggling with programming, I got the sound working fine. Finally. This is the headphone jack, not this. That can really change the amount of sound that you get out of speakers. Alright, this is the initial install, so everything's working. I'm going to do the final install and clean everything up now. Alright, finally got this thing going. Okay, so I'm running it remotely, so you can see my shell open there. And then it's sitting over here on this little shelf with, well, I just got it. This is for all my little servers and stuff. So there's the power supplies down there, and that's Peanut running right there, and this is Peanut Jr. And I'll put a link in the description of how you can get to him. And then so there's our thing. What are we listening? We're listening to Sticks right now. So, all right, what I ended up doing was just going back, starting all the way over. I used Tiny Core version 9. I did a net install, and I got it all running. So check the link in the description. That will link to the to Peanut Jr. there, and I'll put all the notes and all that sort of stuff in there. Man, that took a lot longer than I expected.